kind of crappy weather. Yuck, rained, a lot of rain, big wind. Got to go clean up some wind damage. But anyway, see stuff on the ground. Well, can't really see it. Anyway, yeah, response video, sort of, kind of. I was in Stickam last night, Friday. It was a really good conversation. Me, Remy, and left of center. Very few viewers, like only 20 people in the room. And it was really nice, actually. Had some good conversations, no distractions. So one of them was on this rights versus responsibility subject, and it's probably worth a video. But that's probably not the video I'm going to do right now, because I sort of wanted to get to a modern mystic video. That Nick's made a few annoying videos in a row, and he made this one about asking some kind of bogus question like, are we entitled to a job? And that's really kind of a stupid question. There's always work to be done. There's always productive things for human beings to do in the world for themselves and the other human beings. There's always, just living in your own personal life. There's all kinds of chores on your list of things to do, no doubt. I mean, no doubt there's problems you'd like to solve, and all you need is the time to get it done. And it would be the same way in an economy or anything else. I mean, if we all a group of us just fell on a desert island somewhere, yeah, there'd be plenty of work to do for 10 years, 20, 30. And then once you build a civilization, you got to maintain it. It takes work to keep it running and try to make it more efficient, to modernize it as technology permits. I think it's kind of ludicrous to say, should human beings have work to do? And that's basically what he's saying. Of course they should. Should they be guaranteed to do the same job every day for their whole life? Should they be guaranteed a salary increase every year? No. Should they be rewarded for just showing up? I don't think so. There's lots of inefficiencies in that, of course. You should always be required to be productive. The work should be productive. But that's the thing. I think all it takes is a little bit of sensible engineering. What a rain. Wasn't that much rain, really. It just all at once kind of rain. Anyway, you just have to suit the labor to the project. And there's so much inefficiency in the work. Most of the work human beings do now is labor for the silly, the wealthy, and it's a lot of silly labor. And we have whole industries that are doing things that are completely unproductive. I mean, marketing always comes to mind. This is just such a glaring example. Because we allow ourselves to be manipulated by symbols and 30 seconds, news bites and commercials in general, display ads, any kind of advertising, because we allow it to work. People go into whole businesses trying to figure out how to manipulate your psychology. So you have a huge number of people whose only job it is to outcompete the other guy in terms of, how can we make our ads sexier? How can we get on the top 10 listing on Google? And so they spend a lot of money that the consumer pays in the end, to rig the system, to find a way to do that king of the mountain thing. And it's completely unproductive labor. Doesn't make products any better, doesn't pay employees doing productive work anymore. It's just preposterous waste. So anyway, I mean, the point is again, I'll go back to the word engineering. And Nick will avoid this word because somehow the economy isn't like everything else in life. People there you go. So anyway, so the economy isn't like everything else in life where, you actually have to engineer it. You have to plan it. You have to draw it on a piece of paper first and measure it and do all that kind of stuff and try to maximize its efficiency. He won't concede that point, because if he concedes that point, he has to concede the point that the silly rich people aren't necessary. And he just won't do it. So he was talking about the bond market and interest rates and all this crap again, and whether it's going to be deflation or inflation, which is an important subject, don't get me wrong. The whole point is if you're going to pay money on money, that's inflationary. So it's going to be reflected in the economy eventually. The bill will be paid one way or another. So, how it's all going to crash depends on what we keep doing. If we keep making rich man dollars real, then I guess that's going to mean deflation in the short term, because all the people holding IOUs will be valid. But eventually it's just going to be bankruptcy, and then inflation will go crazy. We should just have to print money. And you'll have to recognize you'll have to not pay the old debt. So anyway, as a side subject, so back to where I was. So look, we could be so much more efficient if we just figured out what jobs, the ones that don't require a lot of intelligence or physical labor, maybe we should have those devoted to being work that somebody could do in their house, and disabled people could do, make them more productive. We just got to suit people to what's needed, and we have to invest in productive infrastructure. And there's always good projects. It's just that we can't get anything done because there's too many people saying it's big government or some other bullshit to evade it. We should be building Hoover dams. We should be making our civilization more efficient. And that's another point he made, is that he was kind of arguing that our civilization is somehow impossible, like it's unsustainable by its very nature. And it's really not. It's too exploitive the way we have built it, and it's preposterously wasteful, and it's obviously threatening natural resources, which is unsustainable. But all that you can mitigate against. I said it before, but everything could stay, the economy could stay just as strong, just as healthy as it is right now, if we just eliminated the problem, which is the too many IOU thing, the too much debt thing. So if the rich people don't get paid, that could be the only tragedy, is that the preposterously wealthy don't get their money back. And we could keep everything the same. Every business could still be in business. Everybody could keep their jobs. We don't have to have a complete collapse if we just say, screw those stupid rich people. That's it. That's the only sacrifice. So, because people have already done the work. People have already made the iPods. People have already done the stuff. It did happen. It wasn't unsustainable because we did it. It was unfair, but it was certainly doable, and we could keep doing it. We just have to make it more fair. And it demonstrates, I think, so clearly how inefficient the rich really are, how much they're bleeding out of the economy, because they're going to cause this collapse. They're the ones, it's all that stupid debt. And that debt wouldn't exist unless you had all these people that had huge, giant piles of surplus. And surplus that was devoted to them making profit, not devoted to being socially productive. And that's the stupid, idiotic mistake. That's the flaw in the economic system. It's not in its nature unsustainable, beyond the fact that, yes, we're leeching a higher quality of life off the deprivations of other people in other lands working in lousy conditions. But that we can fix. We can get rid of a lot of inefficiencies in our lives. We can be more efficient. This is a good word. and make up for that difference without sacrificing the substance of our civilization. So, screw you, Nick. It's bullshit. So, until next time.